You're having your wedding, bar mitzvah, whatever, you want to design your own beer, these guys will help you do it.
Imagine the scene. A huge snowstorm, no power, and you're stranded in the middle of nowhere in a bar. Doesn't sound so bad to me.
3 days worth. Sounds pretty good to me. From the McAllister Brewing Company in North Wales. With Joe Sixpack, I'm Glen Macnow. This is What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Montco Makers, powered by the Valley Forge Tourism Convention Board. Download the app. By Visit Bucks County. Travel the Bucks County Ale Trail. Check in digitally to 5 or more breweries to score a free t-shirt. Get your passport at visitbuckscounty.com. And by the Conshohocken Brewing Company. Visit conchahockenbrewing.com for the latest releases, location hours, menus, and online store.
You don't have to go away to get away. Go and explore. Find the small businesses that make where you live a community. When you dine, choose homemade. On a free weekend, discover the great outdoors. And if it's brewed here, enjoy it with friends. Support small for an experience you won't find anywhere else. Make it local, make it Main Street, make it Montco.
Hey, welcome to What's Brewing. This is Joe Sixpack. I'm Glen Macnow. We're at the McAllister Brewing Company on Dickerson Road in North Wales. Nice to see you, my friend.
Great to see you, Glen.
I am starting this show with a I'm Not a Cat hazelnut brown ale. I'm a big fan of brown ales, as you know.
As I am, and this is the pumpkin beer, maybe the last of the season, and I'm pairing it with a nice, good, juicy pretzel here.
Yeah, they make their own food here. We got pizza, they got pretzels. Good place here that we are enjoying McAllister. All right, so we start with our beer swap every week. Interesting theme this week, which is kind of ethnic beers. You and I have talked over the years about how the craft brewing business has been kind of the purview of the bros.
Right.
It's expanding out. We did a show earlier, I think last season, on how women are getting into the business. African-American breweries are opening up. Absolutely. More inclusivity. So we start today. I am going to give you some of this. There's a local guy brewing, a local Native American gentleman who's opened up a brewery. Hold on, let me find my glasses here. Here you go. Up in Horsham. The name of his place is Big Chief Brewing. He's on Easton Road in Horsham, and he's got a bunch of varieties. This is his Scout Stout.
Okay.
So there you go. Let's try this out. Mark Dashner is his name. He is a member of the Chippewa Nation. His dad grew up on the reservation in Wisconsin, and he started his own brewery. All right, that's pretty nice.
It is. It's a big bottle, but it's actually a pretty easy drinking stout, I'd say. Yeah, Mark just opened up his brewery. It's great to see it up there in Horsham. I think it's going to be very popular.
So this is nice to see, and we wish Mark a lot of luck. And this is his. He's made a couple others. This is his Can You Hear Me Sour, and he's got a few other things going. So that's going, and you found an interesting ethnic group that guy's making his own beer.
This is another great story. This is from a brewery called Doke Brewery, or Doke Beer, out of San Francisco. Not available in the Philadelphia area, I think, yet. I think it will be soon. This is owned by a Korean-American fellow who is making beers, and in this case, he's not only is he playing off his heritage, but he's also playing off the cuisine of Korean America, the Asian cuisine.
I'm a big fan of Korean food.
Same here, and this is a milk stout that is spiced with cardamom and green peppercorn from Doke Beer.
That looks interesting. It's got an interesting label, too.
It is.
The only problem is I can't read it. It's in Korean.
It is. Well, we all have to learn Korean now. Come on, let's get with it.
Hey, I'll try. Okay. So it's a milk stout. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I don't know what the scent is. Maybe that is cardamom.
I think it is cardamom that I'm getting.
Yeah.
And it's very subtle. It's a very nice drinking beer. He's making another.
It's different.
Some fairly standard other beers.
Yeah.
Like a session IPA. This is going to be a hazy IPA rather. And Yuzu Blonde is another one of his, which is made with yuzu, which is a fruit, I think it is. So it's a good idea. I know
I gotta tell you, I think this is, I kind of like this, and it would be fun to pair this with food in a Korean restaurant and just see how it goes.
Right, and you don't even really think too often about drinking stout with Korean food. I often think of just a plain Pilsner goes well with it, but you know what?
Right.
A stout would actually go well with it.
Well, we wish him luck. We wish our friend Mark luck with his Native American beer. And you know what? The more people that get involved in it, the more diverse it gets, the better it gets for all of us.
It's all about inclusivity. That's the best thing about drinking beer is meeting people that might be different from you.
Wow. You know what? That got me right here, Joe. That was really great. All right, coming up, there's a guy's got a great idea, which is he will custom design beer for you for your event. It's your beer. I love that. We'll talk about more. We're at the McAllister Brewing Company in North Wales. Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow on What's Brewing.
This holiday season, where will you find yourself? Celebrating tradition or crafting your own? From awakening awe to igniting the night. Spend the holidays in Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Welcome back. He's Joe Sixpack. I'm Glen Macnow. We're at the McAllister Brewing Company in North Wales. What are you drinking there?
This is a peach wit. Moving to the country, it's called.
Look at you with all those fancy styles. Well, I'm going with my Shovel Buddy New England IPA, as I always do. Good name.
It is.
Right?
It
Somebody
is.
shovels your driveway, you give them some of this.
If I could get somebody to shovel my driveway with one beer.
All right. Interesting concept that you discovered, which is there is somebody out there who will custom design a beer for you. I love this.
That's right. It's a new brewery up in the Frankfurt section operating out of the old Globe Dye Works. There's a brewery in there called My Local Brew Works. These guys are brewing beers in a very small system, but they will custom brew. They're calling themselves bespoke brewing.
Oh, okay.
So they will make a beer that you want to be made for your event, for your bar, or just for your house if you want to.
So let's say I'm hosting a wedding. I got 200 guests. I want to do a wedding, John and Julie's beer, right? And I say I like this. I like a hazy New England IPA. Do I go in there and taste test it? How's it work?
They'll work with you to design the actual recipe that you're going to make.
How small can you do it?
It's fairly small. They'll make as little as 2 cases of beer for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I see you brought some, all different
I did.
styles. What are we going to try something here?
We will. And once again, Glenn, I've misplaced my beer opener.
There you go, my friend.
All right.
Oh,
Thank you.
always carry it
prepared.
with me.
Let's go with the Uncle Fest beer. Uncle Fester. Love that name. This is a Märzen style beer.
Uncle Fester was the Munsters of the Adam family.
That was the.
He was the.
Oh man, I should know this, Glenn. I think it's the Adams family.
Okay, there you go. I think you're right.
So it's a good-looking beer, really nice and clean.
Yeah. Smells good. Good nose.
So this is the guys working up there are Wayne Humphrey and Tim Montague, or Montague, I guess his name is.
Okay, that's nice. I like this.
And they brought in George Hummel, who some locals will remember is the guy that ran Home Sweet Homebrew in town. Okay. So together they're designing really good, high-quality beers, small batch.
You get to design the label?
They're using their own label on this thing, but I think you could probably get away with coming up with your own.
A little more than that. All right, I like it. It's good. How do people get in touch with them?
So that's up in, they have my brewery, My Local Brewery Works is the name of the brewery. They're up in Frankfurt, and I forget their website, but it should be pretty easy to find.
So. Okay, I like it. Good idea. Okay, news. Human Robot, Kensington. What's going on there?
One of my favorite spots these days in the city. It's they're in a small place basically in a kind of a changing neighborhood, we'll call it. Right. But they're opening up a new tap room at the in Jenkintown at the former Neshaminy Creek Brew House location, and they're going to be calling that the House, H-A-U-S, opening up in February. It's a German-style brewery. We've had their beers before. It's really nice stuff. Coincidentally, the former brewer from Neshaminy Creek, the guy that founded it, Jeremy Myers, who I actually was drinking beer with not long ago in Germany. He's doing some work over there. But
do you know how many times you've dropped that into the conversation?
I know.
Guy I was drinking beer with in Germany the other day. Yeah, okay, good.
Anyway, Jeremy has also opened up his own Trager Brewing. It was the name of his Pilsner that he used to make, but it's a family name, and now he's going to be doing some contract brewing of that beer locally, Trager Brewing. Bad news over in Pittman, New Jersey. Human Village has closed, part of the whole problems with the pandemic, which is sort of a sad story.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yep.
Let's just throw out one last thing here to raise money to support abortion rights. On the day that the Supreme Court was hearing arguments on Roe v. Wade, Triple Bottom in the city released a collaboration beer with 16 local breweries called Our Choice to raise money for abortion liberation funds. So it's a good move.
All right, coming up, the latest in our scavenger hunt, how you can win a night of drinking beer with Joe Sixpack and me. We're the McAllister Brewing Company on Dickerson Road, North Wales, with Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow for What's Brewing. Glen Macnow here with Andrew Colligan from Conshohocken Brewing Company. Let's run down the new lineup of exciting beers, starting with Type A.
Our #1 selling beer, big citrus hop notes and nice dry finish, the quintessential American IPA.
Ring the Bell Pilsner.
And that's our fastest growing brand. It's a smooth, easy drinking Pilsner to enjoy during a game.
Life Coach.
Hazy, 100% citrus hop session IPA, the perfect beer for all day at the golf course or the pool.
Puddler's Row ESP.
That's our malty, roasty English pub ale, 2 silver medals at the World Beer Cup. Maybe the best English ale in the country.
MC5, my favorite.
Double dry hopped IPA, it's all the juicy goodness you want in a hazy IPA.
Philly Vice.
It's our rotating series of fruited sours, light and easy drinking.
Mr. Robusto.
Dark chocolatey porter, perfect dark beer for a cold winter's night.
All exciting beers, enjoy them all and a whole lot more at Conshohocken Brewing Company's 5 PA locations and wherever fine beer is sold.
Cheers.
Hey, welcome back to What's Brewing. Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow. Joe has eaten about 5 chicken tenders here at the McAllister Brewing Company.
Yeah, you're right.
Dickerson Road in North Wales. Good food to kind of help you along with this beer. In fact, what do you got there?
It's sucking up the alcohol of this double IPA. Blackthorn plays into McAllister's Scottish beer theme.
Very nice. I got a winter lager, which fits the day, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, a little chilly out there.
Speaking of winter, actually, let's do our scavenger hunt first. Stay in order here. We've been doing this now, I don't know how many weeks, but we appreciate everybody who's getting in. Joe Sixpack came up with the idea this year of let's make it a contest. Winner gets to go out drinking with us. We are going to show you now one of the previous things we asked for, which was pictures of beer coasters. It's amazing to me how much people save.
Right. Well, we laughed about it when we announced this challenge, because you had a single beer coaster that you've been saving since you were a child. No. Exactly.
It meant something to me.
You know, our viewers have like hundreds of them out there, and they're willing to take pictures of them. So it's a great fun thing. Just post the pictures of these challenges on Facebook or social media. Just tag us on there.
Right, at Real Glen Macnow, at What's Brewing, at beer_radar. You can find us, and we want you to do it. And again, somebody's going to a night of drinking. This week it's a little tougher because we're going to make you leave the house. You have to get a photo of a beer menu in a brewery, brew pub, restaurant. And I don't mean one of these. I mean what's on the wall. You got to get a photo of a beer menu on a wall and send that to us.
I'm a big fan of beer menus because people like to get creative with them. It's one of the great inventions, I think.
I always go in a place and I look at the wall, and
Yeah.
I look at them, I look at the names and the colors and the artwork and so on. So that's what we are asking you for this week.
And it's not too late. We've been doing these challenges every week. Go back. You can still do things like, show us a picture of a brewer without a beard, or
With a foam mustache
foam
or whatever.
mustache.
You can catch up. You haven't
Catch
done
up.
the T-shirt, do it now. There's no time limit on it until we are done, and we're having a lot of fun. We think our listeners are having fun. Speaking of fun, England, big snowstorm a couple of weeks ago. 80 people are in a bar in Swaledale, Northern England on Friday. You ever had a drink there?
I've not. So
Okay,
I can't brag on that
there.
one.
They went there to see an Oasis tribute band known as Noasis.
It's one of the funniest names ever.
Right.
I love it.
Are you a fan of Oasis?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But I will listen to them.
Okay. This bar, by the way, is the highest elevation bar in England, 1,700 feet above sea level
Right. Really high spot.
for England.
Yeah,
and they got this huge storm. The storm had a name. It smacked it. The power went out. The bar closed. The roads. Nobody could get anywhere. Everybody's stuck in the bar. For 3 days, they can't get out. Some people actually were camping outside, and the storm blew away their tents. So they're all in there. They had to actually get a helicopter. There was a guy who needed medical attention, and they had to get it. And they told other people, would you like to come on the helicopter? They said, we'll stick around.
Yeah, why not? You're stranded in a bar. What's the worst that could happen, right?
Yes. So I'm going to read you a quote. This is from the bartender who said, everybody's in good spirits. They're all eating and drinking well. They've been entertained by the cover band, and they played quizzes. They had karaoke, sing-along. The band played estimated 30 sets over the 3 days.
I hope they got well paid for that. But Glenn, I was laughing about this because you gave me the heads up on this. 1,700 feet above sea level.
Right.
You realize that that's about the same elevation as the highest point in Oakland, California. I mean, this ain't.
Well, England's,
It's not Mount Everest that they were
No,
stranded on.
no. But for them, it's what they got. And so the question is, good time, bad time?
That would be the greatest. It would be. I mean, you have a built-in excuse of not coming home from the bar.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun and good for them. You have a story to tell your whole life. One more thing I want to give you. There's a father and son in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which I have been to in my life. I lived in Michigan before Philadelphia, and my wife and I once went through it. It's a beautiful country. Some of it's kind of a dump, including these guys are from Sault Ste. Marie. Father and son, they decided they wanted to do a project. Randy Cluck, 59, and his son Kevin, 30, decided, let's go to every bar in the Upper Peninsula.
What a challenge. I love it.
They got to 109, which is, there's only population of 300,000 people there. So 109 bars, a lot, not a lot?
I don't know. Sounds like a lot. But
All right, well, they tried to visit them all, shot in a beer joints, college bars, places where the Jägermeister and cinnamon whiskey flow, and snowmobile trails will get you there. And then they self-published a book
that's great.
called Youper Bar. Youper is the UP, Youpers is what they
Youper.
call themselves up there. A guide to all the drinking establishments of the Upper Peninsula.
So turn your debauchery into a published book.
Yeah, and they were smart because they told the places, look, we'd like to have you in the guide. Can you give us $25? So they crisscrossed it. They would put in 400 miles a day on their car going from place to place. I don't know if they had a designated driver or what.
I hope.
Had one drink in each bar, put 47,000 miles on their car in 1 year, visited the 109 bars, and the book includes the house drink for each bar, including the methadone, blue raspberry vodka, triple sec, and white grape juice, the Berglund Blaster, Royal Crown energy drink, and just a drop of peach schnapps,
Right, because that just really tops it off perfectly.
and the Busch Light at Tovey's Jolly Inn in germ flask.
You wouldn't want to miss that.
No. They drank too much, they ate too much, they drove too fast through the forest late at night. They never spent so much time together. A great time for father and son.
That's a good idea.
We like good family stories.
Yes.
All right, coming up, we're going to talk to the owner of this here establishment and continue to enjoy their beers. We're at the McAllister Brewing Company in North Wales. Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow on What's Brewing. Welcome back to What's Brewing. We're at a McAllister Brewing Company in North Wales, joined by Mike McAllister, coincidentally. Amazing, you found a place with your name on it.
Yeah, it was really hard, but we found it.
Opened this place in 2018 with your wife, correct?
Correct.
You are kind of an ex-cop, kind of part-time cop. Your wife is a nurse.
Yep.
You guys went on your honeymoon to the Great American Beer Fest?
We did. So what all started this is I was a home brewer, and I opened up a tap room in my house, and all the cops would come and drink at my house. So next thing you know, I'm brewing 3-4 days a week to keep up. So we're like, oh, maybe we have something. So my wife and I got married. We went out to the Great American Beer Fest in Colorado. We tried sampled everybody's beers out there, and we're like, well, our beer's no better or worse than any of these. Maybe we have what it takes, and it just steamrolled into this.
You made a mark right off the start with your brown ale. It's a really nice beer. What goes into a brown ale? It's one of my favorites. I know Glenn likes it a lot. You don't see it in every bar or every brewery.
Correct.
What does it take to make a great brown ale?
So for me, it's all about a traditional brown ale. The English got it right as far as I'm concerned. So you want to have nice flavors of chocolate, some nut flavors in there. Obviously you want it brown. And then it's all about mouthfeel. It's about trying to create a creamy experience for the beer, and then combining all those flavors together to come up with the perfect brown ale.
It's such a delicious beer. I always wonder, why don't more breweries make this?
It's a shame, in my opinion, because it is a delicious beer. I think it just kind of gets the stigma. People see a dark beer, they assume it's heavy, which isn't the case
Not
at
at
all.
all.
It's a sessionable pub ale or style, and I think it just falls under that play that people equate dark to heavy, and then they don't drink it as much.
So, Mike, you make that's a great style. I've had your IPAs; they're terrific. You also make a beer. I want you to explain this one because the name alone could take up the rest of the show. Sir Fuzzy Pants Bourbon Barrel Pecan Stout. What the heck's going on with that?
So this beer is near and dear to
Great
our
label.
heart. Yep. So that's
Sir
our
Fuzzy Pants appears to be a family member.
Yep. Sir Fuzzy Pants is our cat, Mr. Fuzzy Pants. We got a really nice picture of him on our wall, and one night my wife and I are staring at this picture, and we're like, that'd be a great beer label. So
You named your cat Mr. Fuzzy Pants?
he's just that. He's fuzzy and he's a cat.
Yeah.
But so our other owner, Seth Muntz, wanted to get a bourbon barrel pecan stout. So we're like, well, that sounds like a great name for that beer. And now every year we put out the Sir Fuzzy Pants right around November. It's our yearly release of our big bourbon barrel, 11.5%.
11.5%. Well, that's a little bit will go a long way.
So we've gotten this far into the interview. I can't believe, Glenn, that you haven't mentioned the 600-pound gorilla.
Yeah, I mean, look how I'm dressed. Look how you're dressed. We're drinking beer.
We are.
Tell us about this beautiful apparel.
I love looking classy. And
Hold on a second. Look.
Yep, see?
Wow.
Bam.
Yeah.
So this,
Hold on, I can do that too.
Can you? There it is. So the story behind the suit, when I retired from the police department, I went to the local tailor in Doylestown, and I was like, listen, I always wanted a blue leisure suit. And it was Ventresca's, and the guy looked at me, he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, no, I'm sure, I know what I want. And so they did this number up, made it for me, and now this is my favorite suit. I wear it as much as I can.
Matches your eyes.
That's right, everything just pops.
All right, I'm going to give you a quick quiz because Joe and I have been doing a lot of fun little features over the last week. So I'm going to ask you true or false.
Okay.
True or false?
These are unusual beers that we've
Yes.
encountered.
Okay.
True or false? Somebody makes a ramen beer.
I hope it's false.
It is, in fact, true. The Texas-based Collective Brewing Project has created a beer inspired by the Nissan Cup noodles. Oh, I've had those.
Sure, we all have.
Yeah, called Cuppo Beer. Oof. We're showing people a picture of that right now. True or false? Tasty Cake Butterscotch Beer.
So that sounds delicious. I hope that is true.
Yeah, it's false. You're up for two.
Make one. You got to make one.
Yeah, there's an idea.
True or false? Pork roll beer.
That I believe. That one I would say true.
Yeah, you know that one.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think we had that one,
From
didn't we?
Flying Fish, yeah.
We tried that one time. Finally, true or false? Pickle beer.
I would believe that exists as well.
No, you're 2 for 4. In
2 for
fact, you
4.
finished strong.
Okay.
We had that on a show last year. I think we were Taskers. It was hideous.
Well, we had to rush you to the emergency room afterwards.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. All right, Mike, tell people when you're open, how they find you. They should come and enjoy this place.
So we are open Wednesday through Sunday, 4 o'clock Wednesdays and Thursdays till 10 o'clock, Fridays 3 to midnight, Saturdays 12 to midnight, and then Sundays 12 to, I think, 6 or 7-ish.
All right, so I can watch my Eagles game here on Sunday.
You can watch your Eagles game.
You got to find your way back. It's a little bit hard to find this place. GPS doesn't always work, but just keep going.
Yep.
You'll get here eventually.
You'll find us.
Yeah.
It's and once you do, then you know.
And then you're here, and it's great. And we've really enjoyed our time here. Mike McAllister, you do great stuff. Again, this Nut Brown Ale is terrific. Joe Sixpack and I will be back next week with another episode of What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Montco Makers, powered by the Valley Forge Tourism Convention Board. Download the app. By Visit Bucks County. Travel the Bucks County Ale Trail. Check in digitally to 5 or more breweries to score a free t-shirt. Get your passport at visitbuckscounty.com. And by the Conshohocken Brewing Company. Visit conchahockenbrewing.com for the latest releases, location hours, menus, and online store.